Yo, what up? How's it going? And welcome back for another video. Today we will be doing a VOD review for the LCS Finals for Summer Split, Team Liquid versus Cloud9. We're just going to be doing Game 1 in this video, and hopefully I'll have the other games as well. Game 1 is the most criticized game in terms of C9's draft, but really the most controversial one too, because some people think it's a good draft, some people think it's a bad draft. I'll tell you what it does in just a minute. But what I really think this game is about is a lot less about the draft and a lot more about the junglers. We'll talk more about that in a minute. But first thing we're going to talk about is the draft. Alright, so I'm just going to address the elephant in the room. We're looking at Cloud9's draft. It looks pretty, if you don't know anything about anything, it looks kind of troll, right? Let's talk about what C9's draft actually does and what the strengths and advantages are. So I call this comp Welcome to the Terradome composition, because they got the double baby cages, or the double cages, not the baby cage, that's York. They got the double cage comp. That's not really what the point of the comp is, but you know, they have the Veigar cage and the Thresh cage, and the Zeyzal. So let me talk about what this comp can actually do. So what this comp actually has is a lot of non-committal CC. So what I mean by that is someone like Azir. If Azir engages a fight, that's a committal CC, because he has to actually dive into you to perform the CC. Svenskeren has to dive into you to perform the CC. Sejuani, you know, doesn't necessarily have to dive into you to do the CC, but if you blow her CC, it's her ultimate, and then you lose the next fight if the enemy team's able to re-engage on you if you don't engage on that ultimate. So non-committal CC. So let's talk about what that is. So you have the Sivir speed up, you have the Karma speed up, and you have the Veigar, who can put down the baby cage as like a pseudo engage. It's like a pseudo engage champion, as well as Thresh. Thresh shows out his hook. Thresh shows out his hook. If he hits it, he can choose whether or not he takes it or not. That's non-committal engage, right? So the idea with this comp is Sivir can make you all run at them, or Karma can make you all run at them super fast. Throw out a hook or throw out the baby cage, and then Zeyzal jumps in there and he's like, "Welcome to the Terradome, bitches." So he jumps in, he fights him, and he ults, and nobody can hurt him. So it's kind of like, that's like how a perfect team fight would happen. Is Sivir, you know, Sivir ults them in, they drop the baby cage, or they drop the cage down. Zeyzal jumps in there, fights him, ults, so he doesn't take damage outside of the cage, and Thresh can just fish for hooks inside of there as well. That's like, you know, perfect scenario, but obviously you can get flanked and stuff like that. The other big strength of this composition is they have so much zone control inside of the jungle. So, you know, how big the Veigar stun is, you know, around certain choke points in the jungle can have so much control over areas. So if this game gets to an even game state, then you got to actually really fear sieging against Cloud9 or looking for fights around objectives against Cloud9. Really what you'd want with Team Liquid's composition is to be able to get, you know, small fights, you know, catching people out, stuff like that. Or if if they use their engage and you're able to re-engage on top of them, and then just run over them. The big issue with this game is, so I actually think the draft is fine. The only issue for me is Team Liquid gets the like strongest champion in each role, which is pretty insane. So Aatrox might be the best top laner on this patch. Sejuani might be the best jungler on this patch. Azir might, they're playing on 9:15, so Azir might be the best mid laner on this patch. And then Xayah Rakan speaks for itself. Xayah is like one of the highest priority champions right now, and then adding Rakan with it. So their comp, you know, everybody knows what Team Liquid's composition could do. They're a team fight composition. And Cloud9's composition is also a team fight composition, but I don't know, too many strong picks for Team Liquid, honestly. But if this game got to an even game state, for sure could see Cloud9 winning this game with this draft. They have so much control around objectives and all this stuff. All the stuff I've already said, non-committal CC. Anyways, so I just wanted to address that really quickly. That this was not a troll draft. Everybody online's like, look at Cloud9's draft. I do think the only issue is how much they gave over, how much the strong picks they gave over to Team Liquid. So that's pretty interesting there. So I kind of already addressed win conditions. Both teams have kind of a team fight win condition. Cloud9 wants to get to the mid game and play around objectives and jungle and kind of do catching people out, stuff like that. Catching people out with this comp, if you catch someone out, there's no way they're escaping. So that's obviously not what happens in the game. I think the most important thing to watch for in this game is actually how Xmithie plays. Xmithie plays this early game perfectly. Like actually plays it perfectly. I was watching this. Whenever I was watching this live, I was like, oh wow, Xmithie's smurfing right now. Completely shut down what Svenskeren could do in the early game. And then just completely snowballed, and the game just snowballed out of control on its own after Sven got shut down on all. He got perfectly mirrored pathed on every single play he tried to make. Xmithie was always there. And then game 2, it was the Svenskeren show, so that's what's pretty interesting. But we'll watch game 2 later. Alrighty, so let's just get right into this. Let me ×2 speed it up. We'll get into this game. Alrighty. Move this over here. Hey, they do the LPL thing. Let's go. Alrighty. Something else that was interesting in this game is I thought Nisqy would go for when I saw this composition, I thought he would go for the Glacial Augment build because you do the speed of heat, you throw out the ghosties, someone gets caught, you put the cage around them. I really thought he was going to go for that. I don't know why he didn't. And he builds a proto belt, and I don't know. Obviously you don't see Veigar in pro play very much, but I didn't know about the rune and the build choices for Nisqy in this game. I thought they were kind of interesting. Alrighty. Let's see where everybody's starting. So I think Zen starts with a no leash topside. And Xmithie starts with a leash topside. He may have chose this. I don't know exactly why he chose this specific pattern on Sejuani, but he may have chose it just to completely mirror Svenskeren. Because you almost always start red buff on Zeyzal. You don't need blue buff. Oh yeah, he's trying the level 2 gank. I see. Alright, goes in for a level 2 gank. Definitely something you can do on Zeyzal. And loses his flash right here. Had Nisqy have landed that cage, that would have been really good. Just missed out on the cage. Like, had that cage hit, Jensen would have blown his flash or died for sure. So that's important to keep track of. Is Sven lost his flash there, because the next play he tries to make, he gets kind of fucked on. I didn't talk about lane priorities. Karma's gonna have. I usually talk about it. Karma's gonna have the push, getting control of the wave management, and Rakan should have control of the wave management. You can already see that on the map. Mid lane's kind of whatever. You would think, especially first couple of levels, Azir can have priority in that lane for sure. Yep. So Sven goes topside because that's the side he has. He backed and then went topside because that's the side he has priority on. He can't go for Scuttle bottom side. And then so they just trade Scuttles right there based on the sides they have priority on. Alrighty. That was a nice little arrow move. Or not arrow move. Feather pool. Yeah, I believe Team Liquid gets a solo kill in this lane, which is pretty tragic for C9. A lot of tragedy strikes in this game. So it definitely wasn't just all about the draft. I know they solo die pretty soon, which feels real bad. Alright. Looks like Sejuani's 1 camp ahead, and he's about to take Gromp. He might get level 5 off that. Let's see. No, he gets level 5 off next camp. So he's about to have a level advantage. And I think that's when the play actually starts to happen. Yep, so he has a level advantage right now. He should have a level advantage after this. I think Zen only got his first Krugs. Yeah, that's right. If you get your second Krugs, it gets you way faster to level 6. But it's slower to level 4 if you take both Krugs. Okay, here it is. So now they're going to fight. Let's talk about what the actual lane states look like right now. So now they're going to fight for this Scuttle Crab right here, or look for a play over here. So Zen's looking for the Scuttle Crab, I believe. Mid lane is at somewhat of an even state, but Veigar has to actually walk the long way around, you'd think, just based off of the lane position right now. And then Karma doesn't exactly have the full push on the Aatrox right now. If Karma can clear this wave and then come down, then that'd be nice. I know they actually both meet at the same time, I believe. So he has a level on him right now. Xmithie does. And so Nisqy has to walk the long way around, so he gets here at the same time as Azir, basically. Ugh. And this is where it's like really awkward for Nisqy. Because it's like, do you zone out Jensen? You zone out Jensen, or you go for Xmithie, because Zen's losing the 1v1 because he has a level disadvantage. So it's pretty tough to decide right here. And Impact actually gets there before him. How does that actually happen? Let me watch. Okay, how does Impact actually get there first? Does he start rotating super early? Let's see. Oh, he just straight up walks through the lane. I wonder how that happened. It feels like that shouldn't be able to happen, right? It feels like you should take so much damage and get tethered up, or... That's really interesting. I don't know how that... or like the wave should get shoved in your face, or should get stopped. I don't know exactly how Aatrox gets down there. I wish we could have saw like a picture of that. Then Aatrox gets first blood. You get a follow-up kill. Oh man. Tragedy strikes. Ooh, another early game's pretty stuffed right now. I believe they die solo in bottom lane as well. Yeah, they die solo right here. That's feels bad. That's pretty tragic. So now the entire early game is kind of scuffed right now. And I want to say Xmithie follows Sven around the map again and stuffs the next kill. And after that, the game's just kind of snowballing out of control. And there's no way for C9 to stabilize the game. And they're losing in every single lane and in the jungle. They're losing on all 5 roles right now. Pretty insane. Overall, I think Nisqy had a pretty bad series. The Irelia game in the game 2 was really nice. But just getting pushed out, or like Jensen just got so many lane advantages in lane, which you haven't really been seeing him do too often now. He was kind of just showing that he's still a beast in lane. Yeah, getting a lot of lane advantages and stuff like that in this series. It really felt like Sven was like trying to win 2 lanes. It's he was trying to win jungle and win mid at the same time each game. It was like felt like he had to do. Which obviously your job as a jungler is to win you help win your lanes, but it felt so much in Jensen's advantage most of the games. Those are real bad. Yeah, they just get a Cloud Drake based off the priority they have bottom lane. Pretty easy take right there. C9 has no way of rotating over. If they rotate through the lane, they get killed. If they rotate around the lane, they lose the fight anyways, and it's a Cloud Drake, so not worth losing the game off of. But just something nice for Team Liquid to pick up. Voice is getting raspy. Phew, man. So now, like, essentially, they're losing all 5 lanes right now, right? So Team Liquid has full control of this game. So they just kind of choose where they want to go on the map. So they're about to make a play mid, and if this play works out, they can just rotate over and take Rift Herald. I think this play goes even, but Doublelift gets to get a huge amount of gold. And we'll talk about why that is, why he does that. So overall, this fight ends up going in C9's favor. Okay, so it's a 4 for 2, but something that's important is pay attention to what Doublelift's doing. So Doublelift's about to solo take this tower, which is going to be worth as much as Sneaky's double kill right here. But it's actually worth more. The reason why it's worth more is... Let me make my camera bigger. The reason why it's worth more is because after he takes this tower, then they can rotate topside, get Rift Herald, and take this top tower, and they can't contest it. They can't contest it in terms of if they match bottom lane, they just take the jungler up on that top and on the top side and match on the top side. And there's no way of actually contesting with the power of the champions at this moment because Doublelift's about to be on an item. Sneaky may get onto an item, but Doublelift's about to get the same amount of gold that Sneaky's getting, but he's also going to deny an entire minion wave to Sneaky. And then they can rotate their bottom lane top side, and he can get some free plates and get the Rift Herald, take the tower. So this is actually, like, when you're watching this, you're like, oh man, C9 finally got a fight. But this is actually better for Team Liquid. But with the current game state, C9 will take what they can get. If you trade close to even, I think this is a negative trade for C9 actually, even though they got 4 kills. I think this is a negative trade overall for C9. But they were at such a disadvantage at that moment that you'll take what you can get. But he's about to solo get this tower, he denied an entire minion wave. And then he's going to pick up this other one, reset, and then go topside. I believe that's what they do, and that's what he should do, in my opinion. Yeah, this is pretty tragic. That cage by Veigar was really good by Nisqy. And so you can see what like the idea of this comp is you double cage them, Zeyzal goes in, Karma shields him up, Sivir speeds him up. Yeah, so they just rotated their bottom lane topside. Leash the Rift Herald out. Nobody's answering bottom waves at the moment. It should be pushing back into Team Liquid, I believe. Or it might just be frozen right there. Oh yeah, it was pushing into C9, but Impact's answering it. Yeah, so they have to back off right there because you don't want to take a 4v4 that Doublelift is involved in because he's on 1.5 items right now. He's so much stronger than Nisqy, especially just like champion-wise. Like Xayah is just really powerful in 1 item. Nice little play. They just summon the Rift Herald super far away. They're not going to be able to get plates off of it, but pressure's fine. They just want to get this tower so Doublelift can go mid. They want to get this tower so they can just go ahead and have their lane assignment set up how they want in the mid game. Also, Dragon's coming up soon, so they were trying to get that done. They're going to reset and just run straight towards Dragon, or straight towards mid. So Doublelift and CoreJJ are running towards mid for the Dragon play, and then the catch mid lane. But since they see the Dragon is free, they just go right back towards top lane. Now they'll just look to take top lane tower again, get Doublelift all that tower gold, and then rotate their bottom lane to mid lane. And then we'll be full on into the mid game. Nice. Well played by Doublelift there. They dragged 3 people up there, so this is good. If you're not familiar with my VOD reviews, I talk from the standpoint of the team that's in control most of the time. It's just an easier way to like describe the game state is to look at it from the point of view of the team that's winning. Because a lot of times when you're the team that's losing, depending on your composition, depending on what team it is, a lot of times you're having to play kind of reactionary. And so you want to talk about what the team ahead is kind of doing and then what the options are for the team that's behind. There's not a whole lot of options for the C9 team right now because they're already at a 5k gold deficit at 16 minutes, which is pretty huge. Also, the item builds are pretty interesting. What they can look for is those, more of those chaotic type of fights right now. Catching people out while they're rotating, catching people out in the jungle. But really, if they don't win this next fight that they're going to have, the game's pretty much over. See, after Doublelift backs, he probably has 2 items. I don't know if he could just go straight for the Infinity Edge. He has a BF sword, so he might just go straight for the Infinity Edge. Be a low attack speed build, but high DPS. Yep. Here's a type of fight that you'd kind of like for C9. They're fighting in this corridor. And so C9 actually went out on the fight. That's not where you want to fight C9. So C9's composition, you can see right there. That's the spots where they win the fights, right? In the small corridors, you have a Veigar cage, the Thresh cage, and you're all balled up together, so you can get the big Karma shield if you want. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to fight in those tight spaces if you're Team Liquid, for sure. It's hard for Rakan to do anything as well. If this was an even game state as well, you put up the cage as Rakan goes in and he can't get back out. This game would feel really bad to play Rakan. Okay, let's see what we're doing. So they're setting up Vision around Baron because if they win a team fight, if Team Liquid wins a team fight, they actually get Baron and then take inhibs. Even though it feels super early, but they're really far ahead, so let's see. And the hook on this edge. See, Rakan is so hard to play Rakan in this fight. Oh, it's another Infernal. You see Team Liquid's vision is all around Baron. They go even on that fight? Oh, they actually won the fight. They killed Veigar, so they're just going to look the dragon then. Oh, wow. Oh, and they get a nice fight there. That was a nice ultimate from the bird. Oh, dude, they're running the bird comp, I just realized. They're running triple bird. Be nice if they had Quinn. Quadra-bird. Yeah, that was nice right there. Nice. That was super nice right there. Went out on the trade. See, you see what C9's comp can do. You totally see what it can do. Look at this Aatrox, though. This Aatrox gets on anybody, it's pretty GG fights. Alright, so now teams are just going to fight for vision on this top side of the map. Aatrox is going to push the bottom side. He has TP advantage, so they're going to play. I guess they're resetting right now, so Aatrox can't actually push up. Once they get back on the map, Aatrox is going to stay bottom. Stay bottom. They have so much threat on Baron right now because Impact has TP and Licorice doesn't. So if they're gonna be able to stop a Baron play, if Team Liquid actually gets appropriate vision, and they threaten it, then Karma's gonna have to really early rotate to be in the fight. So Team Liquid's in a really good spot right here. So C9, they just want to try to match lane priority. They just beg to keep vision on Baron. Team Liquid has so much threat on it. It is early in the game, so it would be hard to take Baron. But if you just don't contest them at all or have any idea they're gonna do it, or have like early ideas they're gonna do it, then Aatrox can get that TP in. Licorice's TP is almost back up now. See, they're early rotating over with the Karma because they did the reset. So now they're looking to try to contest. Contest for vision. Oh man, yeah, and if the cage is down, all right, let's watch that again. If the cage is down, then it's so easy for Rakan. Look at where CoreJJ is right now. This is actually great positioning for CoreJJ in this game. So obviously Rakan can flank all the time, but specifically in this type of scenario, it's so hard for Rakan to get in straight forward because sometimes you can just be behind your team and then just jump in straight forward because Veigar would just put the cage and you can't get out, or you can't even get in the first place. So this positioning right here, CoreJJ can put you behind him. He can, you have his flash. Yeah, he can just ult flash W, E back to his team. It's going to be really easy. Also, the early usage of the cage in a really terrible placement. Honestly, probably should just put it on himself so that they can't face roll into them. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Flash, knock up, E. Nice. Rakan's my favorite champion, by the way. Rakan's my all-time favorite champion. I don't like playing support, but I love playing Rakan. Actually, I like playing support. I just don't like playing in solo queue. And now TL has so much threat on Baron. Svenskeren's down, so you see how hard it is to play Rakan though with the Veigar. It's actually insanely hard to play against Veigar as Rakan. Yep, and now they're just gonna full siege down, get the Azir tower. They're gonna grab the Cloud Drake, and then they can probably siege on 2 different lanes. Bottom lane is the most valuable one, obviously, if they're not able to end the game. If for whatever reason you're unfamiliar why bottom lane's super important to get, is if you're not sure if you're going to end on this Baron push, then you want to take bot inhibitor. So it kind of almost ensures, especially if you're in the lead, it almost ensures that you're going to get the next Baron and you win on next Baron push. So they're just going to siege down 2 lanes. It looks like Aatrox still does have TP. Jensen also has TP, so they're 1-3-1ing right now. Yep, they're looking for 1-3-1. So they're actually going to siege on 3 lanes. Sivir is the best champion. Sivir or Caitlyn is the best champion at stopping a siege. But that's why it's really smart for Team Liquid to siege down 3 lanes. They try to just like ARAM it, it'd be kind of difficult to do. Seems like they get a good fight though. They're just looking to chunk or get the kill on Sneaky. Since they get the chunk on Sneaky, he has to back, and then they get the 3-lane siege. Oh man. I think this is like a 9k Baron power play. Did they end on this push? Wow. Okay, impact's down. Yeah, they do win on this push, don't they? Let's see. Jensen still has TP if he wants the base and then TP back in. It looks like they're just going to go for the end here. Yeah, this is like a 9k Baron power play. They got like 6 turrets on that one push. That was insane. Yep, and that's the game right there. Look at Impact. He knows what he did that game. He played pretty well that game. Hey, so that's going to be it for this one. This was actually a really short VOD review. Normally when I do these are like 40 minutes long, but this game wasn't too insightful or anything like that. I did want to just talk a lot about the draft. You could definitely see what C9's draft can do. I honestly think it was hard misexecuted, hard missed build. I think Nisqy itemization and I think the itemization on Nisqy and the runes, I don't agree with. You can see the idea with the proto belt. You proto belt forward, drop the cage, so you get that little bit of distance. Or you walk up into a bad spot, drop the cage, and proto belt out. You see the ideas there. But I would really favor the glacial build on that. I could totally be wrong because you don't see Veigar in pro play too often, but I would like to see the glacial build. I think. I think that would make the comp better. But that really wasn't really what happened in that game. The early game just got out of control. Early game just got out of control. They rotated Doublelift around to get all the gold on the map. And there was no way you were gonna win a team fight unless you just get like a miraculous situation. Or a lot of things have to fall into place for Cloud9 to win a team fight when you're 6k down. You can see that team fight that they won where they engaged in the jungle, where they put that stuff around. You can see the power of the cage comp, or I'm going to call it the Terradome comp, the power of the Terradome comp. You can see the ideas there, but it just didn't end up working out. Alrighty, hey, so that's going to be it for that video. I will most likely do the rest of the series. So stay tuned for that. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Subscribe and follow me on Twitter, because if you're watching games live, I'll write what's going on in the games live if I'm watching them too. So I'll be doing that for the EU playoffs that I catch. So the EU playoffs, I'll watch most games of EU playoffs, and then as well as SKT versus Griffin. That's really what I'm very interested in, SKT versus Griffin. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye-bye. Bye.